Siege, siege, siege. It's almost about to be a full decade since this game first came out in December. This video was bound to happen for a long time because of my disdain for the franchise. And though I've talked about it before, it has been literally a year since then, and I have much to say both negatively and positively. With that being said, let's do the usual talk about how we found the game. So, my history with this franchise starts back in like my freshman year of high school, while playing Fortnite. I had an online friend who wanted me to join his party, and they literally put me on full blast simply because I, played Fortnite, and I liked it. And then I noticed that the game that they were playing was a game called Rainbow Six Siege. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go look into it real quick. And I did, but it didn't look that appealing, mostly because it was, 2018. Fast forward a year, and my friends, who were in school, were also playing Siege. And I decided to officially play it because I'm gonna be honest, nothing was more annoying than sitting in the Xbox party chat and you're talking to them, and then we all have to be quiet so that way they can hear inside the game. Assuming you're not a Siege player, let me summarize what this game does. Rainbow Six Siege is a 5v5 team-based sandbox shooter game that has you switching from attack and defense depending on how many rounds have gone by. Use your character's abilities to think outside the box in order to receive the victory. Alright, makes sense, but what are the attackers and the defenders, what are they? What do they do? Well, as attackers, your job is to be like the Underminer and plant the diffuser on either objectives A or B. The way to win is to either plant the bomb and have no one defuse it within the time limit that it needs to count down, or defeat all of the defenders. And as the defenders, your job is to be like Kevin McAllister, setting up a whole bunch of traps, so the attackers don't just walk into the bomb site and, plant the bomb. The way to win here is to defeat all the attackers, stall until the round is over, and if the bomb is planted, defuse it before said timer goes off. Pretty easy, right? Now that we talked about the simplicities of the game, for the first time in the Swaggview history, I want to talk about the bad parts of the game before I talk about the good, because I want to get out of the way, for the, Siege Glazers and the devs out there, right? This is a review still, it's not going to be a rant. The bad. Alright, let me paint you a picture of a scenario based off of a true story. So, there I was, playing Siege and getting rectified by many sweats. And I'm just honestly not really enjoying the time, I'm not enjoying the game, not having fun. But I had a goal, a reason, a mission to live. It was to reach level 30. Because that's when you could play the rank mode and I could play with my friends and all that other stuff. And I grinded and I grinded and I grinded and I grinded, right? Super hard, and it was tough. I promise you it was tough. Man, it was tough. But once I reached level 29, I decided to take some sleepity sleep, right? And woke up the next day to an update. And the update told me that I can't go into rank not at 30, level 30, but level 50. Are you serious? I already didn't like the game at the time, but just to get slapped for no reason by the Siege devs? I feel like they had a personal vendetta against me, exclusively. Okay. Playing that part up aside, I was informed by a player and longtime friend named Fed Leftovers, who claims to be able to beat jynxzi on a good day. Said person said to me that it was to slow down Smurfs from making brand new accounts and getting into matches with lower level people. So to stop these people from their narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, or basically God complex, they rose the level cap for that reason specifically. Why did they wait 8 years to make the decision when it could have actually probably been more beneficial in its early cycle is beyond me. But it doesn't even matter, as the same person I have mentioned before, my friend, has 3 different accounts, all with 700 hours or more. Bro has a full-time job and is literally a manager. So what's really stopping someone from being, just an unemployed hobo, schmobo, bobo, have nothing going for their lives, doing this from like 10, 50, 100 accounts, right? Sky's the limit when you got nothing going for you. Harping more on this rank point, I do think that it's also really stupid that you can get heavily and sometimes unnecessarily punished by disconnecting in ranked. So Basically, if you don't reconnect within your ranked match before the full game ends, meaning that, if you don't reconnect within, when you start up a match and then like everybody starts playing and, shooting all that, and then the game ends, if you don't reconnect or join back within that time, you will be given a timeout for that hour, or at worst, 2 days, depending on how the devs really feel about it. When I say that it can be stupid about that, I mean it really can be stupid about that. For example, and what I mean by this is, what if my power went out randomly due to a storm? Siege is all like, oh, well, that's too bad. Even though you have no consistent record of disconnecting whatsoever within any of these past weeks, months, even years, you're gonna have to wait for something that's out of your control, like the storm. So you get disconnected within the storm, and that's something that you have no control over. Well, that's tough toenails. Wi-Fi aside, did you know that if someone else were to leave mid-match, if you lost the game, your ranked will still be demoted? What? That's stupid. Dog, even Splatoon 2 had it to where if someone left for whatever reason, you won't be punished as a result of it. Then the Siege people will say, well, unlike Splatoon 2, you can rejoin back to the match, so, yeah. But again, can rejoin back. So, they could really just mess you over and refuse to not join back, just ruin your rank. They simply could, the opponent, your friend, your friend, they could just be like, nah, I don't feel like joining back. I'm gonna just be petty. I'm gonna not join back. What are you gonna do about it? Thanks, Siege. Thanks, Siege, for making a problem that didn't even necessarily need to be there. Hitting one more last note on that keyboard for the ranked, and this one's gonna be extremely stupid, but you know how in video games, ranked game modes usually base, what tier or position you're in, off your skill level? Well, Siege decided to look at skill-based matchmaking and said, that's like so last year. So whenever you go into ranked, you might be facing a full emerald team, even though you're a copper. This has been a recent change because, uh, I actually don't know. I don't know. There's really no reason for that. That's stupid. Like, that's actually genuinely dumb. But I don't know. There's nothing that nobody says anything about it. They just did that. It was weird. My only conclusion that I could think of is, the Smurf point. Where they think that at this point you could face anyone regardless of your KD level or anything to really determine / guesstimate who you should be facing against. Again, I can go on all day with the ranked and how dumb that actually is and why it doesn't even matter and why I personally would recommend you just not even just mess with rank, or you can mess with rank, just don't, think too deeply about it. I could go on for that, but I think we should move on. After rehearsing and rereading and rehearsing and, trying to genuinely get my point across, from reading this script that I've been typing out, for a minute, I actually thought I was talking about Shinobi Strikers because this point comes back up many times within these games. It's seeing the common ground of the horse riding, sweaty, toxic, unwelcoming community. The community for this game is all over the place. You'll have people judging you for using a weapon and saying that you can't use nothing else, and disregarding the fact that not every Siege operator uses the same weapon. I've always loved shotguns, dog. I've always loved that gun, since Fortnite. You know what I mean? That's always been my favorite gun. So I'm actually glad that they got that. Okay. And even then, I paid for the game, man. I use whatever weapon, gets conceived by man. And even knowing that it makes some of these basement-dwelling dweebs upset over that, facing me of all people with just a shotgun, Mr. 0.00 bajillion 1 KD, and not ashamed of it, it's pretty sad, man. It's pretty pathetic. And a more minor point that I kind of want to slide in there real quick, just a little bit, slide in that bar in the Jenga tower, is that 99.8% of the time you'll see a PlayStation player. They'll at least have one sport-related game recently. I promise you. Go start up a game, and go as a PlayStation player. Go start up a game, and go into the the player list, the 5v5 or whatever, and go click on someone's profile and go check it. right? Because the reason why I say, you know, the 8% and not the 0.2, you know, to make it 100, is because some people decide to hide their games like cowards. Courage, man. Like, what am I gonna do? Tell your parents? Like, they already probably don't really like you. They're gonna let you run away facing an unbalanced ranking system. So, what gives? Show that thing, man. Whoa. Also, golly, I promise you, some of y'all, I'm not saying specifics, all right, but some of y'all in this game, your IQ does go down, and I'm not talking about the operator. When these dudes face me, right, or you know, one of my friends, it'll be like the most stupidest incidences of siege foolery and Albert Einstein's on dopamine crack.
Bro! God! Like, I'm trying. This is why I hate knifing. You think, oh, I'm just simply just keep knifing. I keep knifing. And this, God, I hate knifing. Knifing is the most stupidest thing in America. God. Like, bro, I'm in his face, shanking this man to death like a flipping Brit man. And I can't get him. I think a British person would have a much better time. I'm so mad. It's like a flipping Ni Hao Kai Lan.
But when other people face those dudes, they'll go full brain dead, making me somehow look like an even better player in retrospect.
I have the diffuser, man. It'd make my day. Are those stuns? Those are stinking stuns. Those are smokes. Bro, just sit, bro. He's peeking in and out of reality in CCTV. B. A little lower. Bro, you're going too close. Pulse! Too close. Pulse, you're too close. Oh, goes okay. Because when you literally reloaded the moment he rushed in, I was like, don't could be no. I know it just sounds stupid. Of all the ways to just losing the game is just running to a wall. I don't know if you just. Oh my. Okay. Bro, you could have told me where the Legion was. You're sitting over here. Oh, don't step on the Legion. No, you said. Oh, don't step on the Legion. Don't step on the Legion. Bro, I see it now. Jimmy, I am stressed. There is 1v1. Okay, I just sat there and I followed Amira to end Kingdom Come. She didn't know I was behind her. Like, bro, this is probably the first time I, like, legit had tried to log in. Bro, yeah, I see it now. Okay, my eyes were blinded, bro. Alright, Owen. Yeah, neither did I. Dude. Okay, that was good.
Wait a minute. Shwabadehi. Wait! Oh my goodness. And to conclude this community part up home, let me show you, actually, let me let you listen to some live audio footage of the average Siege user. We're going into the wild here, people. Just know viewer discretion has been warned. There is some swearing, and the swearing that you'll hear is the only swearing that you'll hear. Alright, let's get into it.
Dude, if that top dude's talking mess, I hope your freaking family dies in a car accident, you faggot. You're dead. You're dead. You can't do nothing.
Yes. Yes.
It's going like 8-0. I have 3 kills, but at least I have assists, bro. I'll be helping the team. What be thinking kills mean something, bro?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to report him. I'm going to report him.
Are you gonna want to play, Carl, or no?
Oh yeah, for sure, hands down. I'm always prepared up. I already got my game jet set and ready to go.
Okay.
You foolish little boy. Little do you know you have been
Damn,
clipped.
Pinka kinda...
Little does he know he's been clipped. He's going to get framed.
Demonic
He's
looking, bro.
going to
What is
get
that?
slandered. This is the average Siege person. You're done. You're cooked, buddy.
Carl, if we install MW loader, we can actually play um Morrowind together.
Oh snap. Alright, third installation of Elder Scrolls. Let's get it. So this part goes out for the Siege devs, right? Now, there's a video where, they ban a dude that was like, cheating or something like that, and they actually got it on Kick, right? And you may be thinking that I'd be clapping and I'm applauding them, but I didn't even know that Siege even had an anti-cheat. That thing never shows up. You're telling me that this anti-cheat got one person out of the many Zimmers, lag switchers, and goobers out there roaming about? This game is 9 years old as I'm making this video, and y'all don't even have a statistic sheet in your game. And excuse me, no, you have a statistic sheet in your game, but you labeled it as coming soon. Bruh, you made a literal replay feature that's arguably much harder to script than a whole re-recording of a play-by-play numbers wise. Miraculously, this company is really one of the main catalysts that holds Ubisoft together. And that's a bit saddening, because they'll do random nerfs like my boy Legion and my Doka lady, the Doka baby Dokabee. Miss Grace Nam over here has to wait for her logic bombs, which doesn't even make any logical sense because she never even had this cooldown before. Also, isn't there a whole niche that she's like some crazy fanatic on technology? Like, isn't that what she dabbles in and what she does? Wouldn't she know this problem and fix the obvious? I'd personally argue that Lion of all people would need this nerf because he could just use his ability off rip. And it's actually way more annoying than your phone shaking and not being able to access some cameras. Because Lion's ability, if you move, when it goes off, you will be pinged and your location will literally be compromised, right? So that means if I, do a little button press and then the thing goes off, if you move, I and the rest of the enemy team, that's has Lion on them, the attackers, they'll know where you are and they'll go track you down and you'll be cooked. But I digress. Yeesh, man. From people overhyping the mess out of this game and people imploring you to play it just for the same dudes to nerd out and say the most heinous things when there's a slight inconvenience, to the devs feeling accomplished that one person got hit with their anti-cheat out of the many tens of thousands roaming around, cheating all the time. Let me just send you an image. This image right here, this whole thing going on the screen. This actually is a pretty good symbolism on how the community is right now. Just saying. Good lord, man, you had a lot to say. I mean, yeah. I could honestly really keep going. Alright then, but what's stopping you? The people who like the game? I hate to break it to you, man. Some people will be mad at you no matter what you do, so I wouldn't sweat too much of the small stuff. See, you would think that's what it is. But after playing the game some more, because one of my friends was going away for a while, and not really speaking from bias, obviously, that's one of the main things we don't try to do, I realized something with this game, something that I've kind of learned a little bit, is that Siege can be, excuse me, Siege can be, Siege can be, okay. It's tolerable. Meaning? What do you mean, meaning? Oh, right. It has some good. Gosh dang it. I knew they would do that, man. Yep, you heard it right here. Let's get on with the good. So, how in like literally every other shooter there's aim assist, and because of that, many people will think that your aim, on controller was only good due to that feature? Well, the Siege devs decided to say nuh-uh and got rid of that mess. So anyone who is shooting now is mainly solely based off of your actual aim with no help whatsoever. Personally, I like this, so it does, stop a lot of debates on whether or not you got a cheap hit. Though many people will still argue that last part, that you got a cheap hit regardless. Moving on, I really love the abilities in this game. I think the transition from Shinobi Strikers to this was actually pretty easy, as both games have them, but in Siege it will greatly determine an outcome. For example, Lion, God's Not Dead, will roar, and if you move while it's activated, you will be pinged. Simple stuff. Another example is the Korean Goblin, or Dokabee. While using her nerfed gadget, she will vibrate your phones to alert where the enemies are, and will not let them, use their devices until turned off or her duration is gone. Awesomely enough, if an enemy is defeated, their phone will drop, and if she gets a hold of it, she can access the other team's cameras and get more, hidden intel with little footage and stuff. And just to, sneak this in with a little fun hidden fact, is that if the phone falls, like if an enemy gets defeated and there's a Dokkaebi on the team, you can actually shoot the phone so that way Dokkaebi can't get a hold of it and, take over your cameras. Indeed, she truly deserves the Dokama Lady status, in my honest opinion. Something tells me I might like Dokkaebi a little bit too much. Anyways, another positive, thing within Siege is that they really blend sandbox style gameplay along with a first person shooter. It really opens up many strategies that keeps things fresh. For example, I have an alibi. Anyway, she puts down these holograms called prismas that, when interacted with by the enemy, will ping them as well. But here's a strat that I usually love, while using her. I think to myself, when placing these prismas, where would I be aiming if I'm holding an angle? And it usually works. Or better yet, is to break a piece of a barricade and then place a prisma in a believable position near it, and people will surprisingly fall for it. Like, way too many times than I could have counted. But now, that's not, that crazy since the secret is out. Unless the video pops off and the algorithm, people catch on, but otherwise we should be good with our secret. So y'all will mainly get some inside swag scoopery knowledge. Back to the sandbox, you can break many surfaces, walls, surfaces, did I mention that, and the like, which I love all too much, as you don't really see that kind of innovation with any of these other, first-person shooter games. So, I'm gonna pull up my pants and say this one, good on you, Siege. You did some good. You did some good. And my last point I have is that the voice chat reporting system is instant, and it does its job well. This is my final example for this whole entire review. I was playing very stupidly, I'll add. I will say I was playing very dumb, because I really did not care, right, at the time. And then some dude in a nerdy voice, probably in his 30s, was saying that I was playing R-wordedly, right? And because of that, let's just say I told him that I hope he enjoys his 2 weeks of vacation. And then I didn't have to have my feelings hurt at all whatsoever. My very fragile feelings, my so-called very fragile feelings. I was sad, so I reported him. And it wasn't even about to swear anymore. It was the fact that this bass... Nah, it's too easy. This bubble bass looking dude decided to throw his game away simply because he couldn't handle what someone else was doing. Cause how dare a person have fun in a game that they have paid for? No, cause why did he do that, bro? Bro threw the match just to say something. In conclusion, Siege has quite the load of problems, both in gameplay, development, and community. But if you look past the load of flaws that it has, I can, for surely, say that I've had a few good moments within this game. And it is indeed a great game that can really only be defined in just one simple sentence. 4 words. Simplicity at its finest. My final rating for this game is a Fallout 76 out of 10. Whew. Subscribble. Thank you all so much for watching, as this has been a very long thought process that has been way too long overdue. And since the year, the stinking video was like 1,000 years ago, I kind of wanted to do a little fresh little update. What I felt like. I can't wait for this new season to come out, and I especially can't wait for the 10-year anniversary when that also shows up. I feel like it will be a really good, immenseful time. If you want to keep the conversations going, we indeed do have a Discord that we are on daily, so if you want to hit that up, just make sure to, go there. Generic funding that supports the channel for more games and footages to keep stuff pumping is also there as well. And with that being said, this is what I title, just to, end this off, this is Carl the Carried. And if you can't carry, then your KD should be buried. Saying a beware and take care. I guess before we go into the next season, what is your I guess, current state and thought on Siege right now? You like think it should be different?
They
Like
should take
it?
out some maps.
That's fair.
But besides that, I don't know. Be more
I know it's like,
disciplinary on people leaving, even if it's like second or third round, because it's lame.
yeah,
Give them like a 3-year ban or something,
there you go.
or just make it to where they don't own the product anymore and they have to go buy it again.
Punish anyone who has played a sports game within the
Yeah,
fourth
they play
day.
Madden, automatically ban them for zimming.
Automatic.